In May 2018, Flat Earth researchers and scientists has put up together an update of Flat Earth proof. One of them is the bottom of the clouds are flat. Sometimes you really can't make it this way. One of the main proof that the earth is flat is that bottoms of the clouds are two. Again, let's use our senses. Yes, some clouds have flat bottoms, but others don't. And this doesn't depend on the curvature of the earth. The flat earth bottom of cumulus clouds is created by changes in pressure and temperature in the atmosphere. Water vapor can easily condense below a certain temperature, and especially on warm days, can travel upwards by thousands of meters. As it travels, the air expands due to the larger volume. How does that work on a flat earth? Now you can see the proof. And the pressure drops. Pressure, volume, and temperature are all connected. So there will be a very specific height where the vapor starts condensing. The second update on flat earth is the movement of the sun. According to the most popular flat earth model, the sun and the moon follow a circular path that is a constant 3,000 miles above the flat plane of the earth, never dipping below the horizon. Sunrises and sunsets are just the law of perspective or an optical illusion. In order for the model to approximate reality, the sun must be very small to maintain the apparent size that we observe. Way back in 1849, this idea was published in the Static Astronomy by Samuel Robertson. It states the sun always somewhere between the Tropic of Cancer and Capricorn, a distance admitted to be less than 3,000 miles, and as measured by the sextant, the sun diameter is 32 minutes of arc, that is 32 minute nautical miles in diameter. Let them disprove this. If disproof is attempted, it will be a literary curiosity well worth framing. The idea is that Eratosthenes was wrong in determining the size of the round earth by observing shadows made by parallel rays of sunlight in two different cities. Instead, the flat earthers claim that the shadows can be explained by a small closed sun. The angles work out the same, so they say. But what about the day and night? They say the sun's light only goes far. Night is when the sun is on the opposite side of the flat earth, like we see in the diagram. Now, that is all fine and dandy until question of the season comes up. If the sun is following a circular path above the flat earth, how does one explain the difference in the sun's angle during the year? Well, the flat earthers get creative once again and come up with a solution that increases and decreases the circumference of the sun's path throughout the year. When the sun is following the red path, Tropic of Cancer, it is summer in the northern hemisphere. During the year, it gradually spirals its way by increasing its path circumference until it reaches directly over the equator in the fall, and then keeps growing until it is following the blue path, much later cycle Tropic of Capricorn, where it is summer in the southern hemisphere, and then it spiral back to the equator in the spring. This whole crazy idea gets even crazier when they have tried to explain how the sun must speed up when it's over the southern hemisphere and slow down as it cycles over the northern hemisphere, because it must make each trip around 24 hours regardless of the distance traveled.